Greetings, shipbuilders. What I'm presenting to you today may just be the most powerful combat ship in all of Starfield. A bold claim, I know, and I don't make it lightly. I'm going to outline exactly why I believe that to be the case, and even show you some footage of this ship routing the Crimson Fleet on very hard difficulty at Crix and not even breaking a sweat. Then we'll get into the detailed piece by piece build. So while you watch, I'm going to start describing exactly why this is the most powerful ship that you can build in the game. First, I think it's important to know my character in Starfield is well above level 60, meaning I've unlocked all the ship parts, and my tech skill tree is essentially completely maxed out. Along with my astrodynamics skill, which allows for much less fuel per grav jump, and my aneutronic fusion skill, which means I get some additional reactor power. So my character is already pretty maxed, but this ship just makes me completely overpowered in space. Now, I also carry 4 crew members with me. One of the slots is either Vasco or Andromeda Kepler, because they each provide an additional reactor power point, so I use one of them. I have Barrett on my ship for his boost to particle beam weapons, which this ship is loaded to the gills with. I also have Omari for his additional shield power point that he provides. And then possibly most importantly is Samco. Sam gives additional power point to engines, but also he boosts the already maxed top speed of this ship even further. And that top speed is where I want to start the deep dive. This ship, if you haven't noticed already, has 4 White Dwarf 3015s, which is the fastest engine in the game by far. Now, the combination of these engines, along with having Sam on your crew, means that at any time you can boost away from enemies so fast and so far that your shields can completely recharge. And now, because you're also outfitted with the best particle beams, which have the longest targeting range, you'll be able to re-engage the enemy before they can re-engage with you. It just isn't fair. Now, the drawback to the White Dwarf 3015s is they don't have much maneuvering thrust, meaning if you want maximum mobility, you'll need to keep the total mass of the ship below, I think it's 1,020 units, and so this is where the trade-offs begin to get interesting. Now, maximum stats was my requirement for this ship. That meant I wanted the Assurance 1800 shield, as it provides the most shield health in the game, but it also adds a lot of mass. The other significant decision was the reactor. Now, I chose the Pinch 8A reactor, which is unique for one very important reason. The 8A provides the highest hull value for any reactor in the game by a large margin. Now, your ship's hull value is essentially its health points. Your ship's health points come primarily from your reactor. You can get a few hull points from other modules, maybe a little bit from HABs or some structural pieces, but the hull points that those provide are insignificant compared to the hull value provided from your reactor. And the Pinch 8A provides the highest hull value of any reactor in the game. It's so high that it's nearly 45% higher than the next closest reactor, which is actually the Z version, the Pinch 8Z. So I went with the Pinch 8A, but that high hull value also has a cost. First, this reactor has the highest mass of any reactor in the game. But perhaps more importantly, it only provides 36 reactor power points to distribute across your weapons, engine, shield, and grav drive as you're flying your ship. So, compared to the 8Z version of this reactor, you're gaining almost 45% more hull, or health, but giving up 10% in reactor power. So I chose to have significantly more hull, as I don't miss the 4 points in reactor power, because the particle beam weapons destroy any enemies before they need to reload anyway. But you might choose differently, and that's okay. Now, we need to talk about the grav drive and fuel. For my character with a maximum astrodynamic skill, I don't need much fuel to travel from one side of the galaxy to the other. And in fact, when I tested it with this ship, I don't need anything more than 220 units of fuel. So for that reason, I went with 2 Titan 450 fuel tanks. Now they each have 110 units of fuel, so together they provide just enough fuel for any grav jump that I need to make and keep my mass allocated to fuel at a minimum. Now regarding grav drives and jump range, I typically look for the grav drive with the lightest mass that provides my ship with at least 28 light years of range. Now the maximum jump range that you can attain is 30 light years with your ship, but the longest range between star systems in the game is just under 28 light years. So as long as you can achieve a jump of that distance, you can go anywhere in the game. Now for the rest of the ship, I simply needed to keep total mass down, so I didn't lose my 100 mobility, while still bringing all these modules together in a cohesive, aesthetically pleasing way. So the Nova Cowlings help provide that, especially because they have plentiful weapon mount slots. And then the last thing that I'll call out is the landing gear. I used 2 of the NG-20 landing gear, which you can find at New Homestead on the moon of Titan. Now these just fit nicely, and then because they also had the max landing thrust in the game, using 2 of them provided plenty for this ship. And that's it. There are obvious trade-offs with, the shield choice, the reactor choice, as we talked about. But I found that for this ship in this game, you are incredibly overpowered when flying this. And at any point, you can boost away, let your shields recharge, and your particle beams will then destroy any ship that's foolish enough to try to follow you. Hope you enjoy it. Until next time.